Part 2. So, where are we up to? So I got the carbs off in the last episode, didn't we? Didn't I? We had a massive waffle about fuel pumps. So we've got a working fuel pump now. The carbs are soaking. They weren't dirty at all, but obviously I'm going to go through them and clean them. The O-rings on the float needle valves were rock hard. They need attention. There's nothing horrific. There's a little bit of varnish contamination coming out of stuff, but yeah, all in all, pretty good. Let me show you the bike. Okay, so just draining fluids, got the fairing off. Fuel tank is back on, not connected to anything. The safest place for a fuel tank is always on the bike if you can possibly do it. Airbox is just resting under there, tank's on, just to keep it out the way. Now then, the thing I want to address is... Addressed? What am I talking about? The thing I want to address is, you know, I showed you the servo motor for the X-up valve with the two cables coming off it that was seized. Well, those two cables come down and they connect here to this little valve on the exhaust pipe. Now, without going down a massive rabbit hole with this, an X-up valve, what does it stand for? Does it stand for exhaust ultimate power valve? Maybe, I can't remember. I'll flash it on the screen. It's that many years since I thought of that question. So anyway, there's a gate in the exhaust pipe here, and without getting into the physics of it, it basically blocks off part of the down pipes and gives you a little bit more low down torque than you ordinarily would have. Anyway, not getting into that here. These are an absolute nightmare. They seize up just for fun, and you can see actually one of the bolts of this cover's already been snapped off. I suspect somebody's tried to have a go at getting this apart. Let me put the camera down and let's get an 8mm T-bar, see if we can get these two undone, and then there's 3 Allen bolts on the cover and the valve, and there's a pulley and stuff. It all comes apart. They like to break off just for fun. We might be in a position where we need to get the engine running, because before I can attack this. Why am I saying that? Heat is your friend, so the only way you can usually successfully get these things apart is by heating them up. This is a great big cast piece, massive heat sink. You can't get enough heat into these bolts, so the way to do it is you get the engine running, you get the engine smoking hot, so fan is coming on, you know, melting hot exhaust pipe, and then you also use a MAP gas torch or, you know, another heat source to get these really hot, and then you've got half a chance of getting them out. And then 50% of the time the bolts still break off. Let me put the camera down and let's get a T-bar. What are the chances of these coming undone? Oh, that's gonna snap. Oh, that one's coming out. Well, it's moving, but it's then getting tight again. Okay. So you're better off spending a bit of time fighting and not snapping the bolts off, because drilling them out is just a big pain in the arse. You've got to drill and helicoil them all. I don't really want to go down that road, although I've got one here I'm going to have to helicoil. The other issue you have is the heads, because it's getting all the shit off the road and all the, you know, in the UK here we put salt on the roads in the winter time, and if these bikes get used in the winter and the salt gets on these bolts, the heads just corrode away and there's literally nothing to get hold of. It's just a nightmare. I'm going to do the carbs first. Let's get the carbs on the engine, get the coolant and the oil changed, put a set of plugs in it, get the carbs back on and get it so the engine's running, and then with a running engine we can use the heat from the engine to heat this exhaust up quite hot. That's the best plan of attack, I think. Right, I'm going to concentrate on the carbs. There's a few parts I need to order. I'll bring you back in when I've got a good set of carbs and we can get the engine running. Okay, so I've spent a good few hours cleaning. Just, it's in my nature and I can't help myself. It was all very mouldy and sad looking, so I spent a lot of time just cleaning the whole bike, getting in all the nooks and crannies with a little paintbrush, my usual way, using Built Hammer Suffix HD initially, just brushing it in, and then I use Carburetor Auto Foam. I think you've seen me use it before. Hot hose pipe to rinse it off, not high pressure water. Block all the pipes up, just scrub it all with Suffix HD, rinse it, then Auto Foam, scrub it again, rinse it. I've emptied a can of GT85 all over the wiring loom and in all the connection blocks. And then another new favourite product of mine, not sponsored, is Kosh Chemie Top Star. Just dressing all the plastics and all the rubber pipes, and it just makes it all look new and nice. So I've got it to this state of cleanliness, then change the oil and filter, as I think you saw. The coolant's been changed. I've had the calipers off, front and rear, given those a scrub, inspected everything, put them all back together, changed the brake fluid front and rear. I now also have a completely built set of carburetors. They didn't need much, a good clean, as you saw. They weren't too bad, were they? But I've cleaned them out. There was a bit of varnish contamination in there, new float bowl gaskets, some fuel distribution, the little pipe along the back that distributes the fuel to each carburetor body, the O-rings on those, the O-rings on the float needle valve seat. So just the basic sort of bits and pieces, and a good clean out. So they're on the bench over there, they're ready to go. Waffleage, let's get the carbs on. Oh, and there's a new set of plugs in it too already. Let's get the carbs and the airbox on. Let's get it started. Listen to it for the first time. We'll balance the carbs, set the idle mixture, etc. Obviously not going to ride it at this point. We need to address the exit valve, but as I previously just said, I need to get the exhaust pipe really hot. Once the exit valve is done, pretty much done then, it's a case of getting all the bodywork on, giving it a nice polish. And then the elephant in the room, and I know you're all thinking it, Jim, doesn't it need tyres? It does really, yeah, but that's probably not happening in this time round. Let's get it on the road, let's get it MOT'd, let's give it a bit of a shakedown. I suspect that at some point he's going to want new rubber on it, but let's tread on the tyres for now. Yeah, we're just adding a crap ton more expense, the cost of tyres these days. So yeah, it does need tyres really, it wants new sticky rubber on it for obvious reasons. Right, let's get those carbs on it, let's get it running, and then let's address this exit valve, which I'm fucking not looking forward to. Sorry for the F-bomb, but that's deserving of an F-bomb. If ever you've tackled one of these exit valves with seized in bolts, you'll know what a complete and utter fucking catastrophe they are. Right, onwards. Contact. Oh, it sounds nice. There's likely going to be lots of smoke coming off it, if you can hear me. There's GT85 everywhere. Sounds, let me just get out of away from it so you can hear me. It sounds mechanically quite good, like no rattles or bangs. Not ticking over very well though. It's almost 3 cylinders. And it stopped. Let it warm up a bit before I knock the choke off completely. Right, let me warm it up. Let's get some vacuum gauges on it, see how far out the carbs are. Because it sounds a little bit, but not the choke off. As it comes down to idle, it sounds like it's on 3 cylinders. Oh, is there a vacuum pipe I've missed? No, there isn't on these, is there? Yeah, it doesn't sound particularly happy. Let's get some vacuum gauges on it. Okay guys, you're going to be cross with me again because I haven't shared the carb balancing. They're a fucking pain in the arse to do. hard, let me turn it off a second. It's really hard to get a screwdriver up underneath all this gubbins here. So what you end up doing is, you can hold the light like that and you end up knocking the engine off, opening the throttle, put an arrow on the screen, getting to that screw, moving it a bit, shutting the throttle, starting it. It's easier to do it that way than try and fight with the engine running, because there isn't really anywhere for a screwdriver underneath here because of all this gubbins is in the way. The servo motor holder, and yeah. What a massive pain in the arse. Anyway, it's much happier now, and it wasn't really the carb balancing that there was a problem. Stupid trousers here, never make an assumption. I assumed, and I'm not sure why, in my brain, the mixture screws on these were 2 1/4 turns out. They're not, they're 3 turns out, just over standard, and this has got a different exhaust on and stuff. So anyway, I've been messing around. I've ended up about 3 1/4 turns out, which is arguably knocking on the door of wanting to go up a pilot jet size, but we won't get into that. So I'm going to run it a bit more, going to get it stinking hot. So the fan is coming on. Well, the fan is already coming on. I'm going to run it for another 5 minutes with the fan on, get that exhaust as hot as I can. Let's see if we can start getting some of those hex-up screws out. I'll have to get this ramp up in the air too, and I'll get the camera set up so you can see what I'm doing. Okie dokie. And the other thing, the vacuum takeoffs for the carb balancing are buried. They're a nightmare to get at. And when the engine's hot, getting your little brass inserts out from under there is it's a catastrophe, which is why, and I think I've mentioned it in previous videos, but with the later Yamahas, you have little rubber pipes with little blanks in the end. They sort of pre-populate the vacuum takeoffs for you, so you haven't got to burn your hands, because it was just so many people complained about the stupid way you had to connect your vacuum gauges up with these early Yamahas. So they changed it with a later one, so we had bits of pipe to connect to. I digress. Let's get it in the air. Let's... I'm not looking forward to it. Let's attack this X up. Okay, it's been running for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Fan's been coming on and off. Been revving it up. That exhaust pipe is fucking sizzling hot. Let's get an 8mm T-bar and just try, let's try getting out that stuck screw. It's probably not enough. No, it feels like it's going to snap. Okay, let's get my map gas torch. Got to be super careful, obviously. There's stuff in here you could set fire to and melt. The cable's been the biggest concern. I've got a few little bits of stainless steel sheet and aluminium, they're called aluminium number plates or stuff you can use as a heat deflector if necessary. But, I mean, the stuff close to this exhaust pipe is sort of designed to get hot, isn't it? Right, that's cherry red now. That bit at the back that the screw goes into. It doesn't come out now. Oh, it's moving. Oh. Even at this point, guys, there's still a 50% chance it's going to snap off. The thing is to not get too over enthusiastic. You're better off spending 5 minutes just gently working it backwards and forwards than 15 minutes drilling it out, trying to pick a bit of thread out, a bit of old bolt out, or then having to over drill it, oversize drill it and helicoil it, and just unravels quite quickly. And by the way, these ones I'm doing now for the cover, these are the easy ones. It's going to snap, I can just tell. It's got that I'm just going to snap feeling about it. Then of course the other trick is to then put some water on it and freeze it quickly, but you're not going to do that in this instance. This is a massive piece of cast. You know, if I had time, probably let it cool down, hit it with some penetrating oil, work it backwards and forwards. It's sort of on the clock a bit though. That's the problem with a lot of these jobs, is you haven't got days to come up with a solution. You know, it's a bit like the other one now in that it comes out. Is that one going to come out? Oh, we might have won with that one, just that heat from running it. That's coming out, that one. Alright, well that's half a win. Oh, snapped. Bastard. You mother father. Told you. Right, okay. Now you can see the 3 Allen bolts. That one, and that one. Now they always fucking snap off. At least with these two. I don't know whether you can see from this, but the 2 that are snapped, that one and that one, they're in this cover. So that comes off the exhaust pipe, so that can go in the mill. I can, you know, I can get some work holding and hold it in place to drill these out. So that's not. It's these that are a pain in the ass. These 3 Allen bolts. Let's get an Allen key socket, hammer it in there. Fucking hell, you never know. Maybe some smart person put it together with copper grease at some point in its life. Probably not though. Right, so there are multiple hurdles to overcome here. The first one is this bolt. Oh, it's come undone. I can't hear you, Poppet. The door's open because I need to come and get my laptop off the side. Can you bring it to me? Can you bring me my laptop? It's on the side in the hall. Sorry guys, once again. That's come undone. That is the nightmare bolt. If that snaps off, then you're in big poo-poo. Ow. And then the other thing is this pulley seizes on this shaft here. Oh, and that's loose.
It's a book.
It's not a book.
No.
It's a tough book. You're on camera again, Poppet.
Am I?
Yeah.
But it says it's a book.
It's not a book. Put it on the end of the bench there. That's awesome. Thank you.
I can open it like a book.
Yeah, you can. Leave it be though. Love you. Love you. Bye. Love you. Bye. Sorry, guys. It's a Sunday and I shouldn't be working. I should be having family time, but it's the only chance to get time to make these videos. Ow, ow, ow. Why are you burning your fingers on that? That's really good news, because very often that bolt that holds the pulley on snaps off, and then that's really, if you see the architecture, if you like, of the valve inside, it's really hard to hold it, to drill that centre bolt out if that breaks. So that's really good news. Let me get a pair of pliers. And let's pull that off there. Wah! Now there's a spring, and there should be a little flat washer as well, which is there. Okay, that's awesome news, because that is often one of the biggest problems. Ow, that's so hot, I can't fucking touch it. Let's get that out the way. Right, these two. Let's get tappy on one of these. What is the chances of getting them out? Basically 0. Let's make sure that that Allen hole is okay. What's the chances? My guess is fucking 0. Oh, it's moving. Right, don't get too carried away. Heat is required, because it's cooled down a bit. Such a massive piece of cast, this exhaust pipe here. In fact, let's run it as we're heating it. Sorry, it's going to be noisy now, but if I can get these 3 out, we're 80% of the way there, because as I said, the screws in the case are easier to do. And then actually the other fight is sometimes getting this plate off this exhaust pipe. You'll see as it comes apart. And I'm about to run out of map gas as well. That's the next issue. And it's a Sunday, although there might be a plumber's merchant open somewhere. Well, let's give that a try. Oh, it's gonna snap. I just know that feeling. That movement is the bolt twisting, not the fucking... Ah, you bastard. Turn that off. Now the fucking head of the Allen bolt is stuck on my socket. Of course it is. Come on now. Thank you. We're basically going to break all of these off. That's the way this is going to go down. I just know it. Yeah, thank you. There's some drilling in my future. Joy. And then I can't get to that one because the camera... Oh, if I get a longer extension... Oh, the arbor stand is right in the way. Let's get rid of that extension. Use my Sykes pick and hammer. I've sort of, at this point, I'm sort of given up. There you go. All 3 broken off. Oh, joy. I love my job. Fucking who in their right mind would be a motorbike mechanic? Fucking me, apparently. Right, okay. Now the next issue is getting this cover off. Oh, it looks like that's actually moving. Aha! Okay. Right, so now you'll see this valve. We're getting that. I'll get you a better shot on the bench. So it's seized in. Fucking hell, that's red hot. It's seized, obviously it's come out the other side. It's seized on this pivot here. You can press that out, heat it, get that apart. There's just a bronze bush in there, no seal. The way it seals itself technically is with this washer and spring. Okay, right. Fucking hell, is that the end of part 2? Maybe, maybe not. If it is, I'll see you next week. If not, I'll show you some of my techniques maybe for getting... Ah, that's hot. Why am I sticking my finger in it? I know it's red hot. I'll show you some of my techniques for drilling out stuff like this where you can't. Oh, God. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.